Irish fans? My name's TJ, and I'm a lifelong Notre Dame fan living in New York City. I grew up only about an hour and a half north of Manhattan in a small town outside of West Point. And growing up, my brothers and I would go to Army games all the time at Mikey Stadium when we weren't watching Notre Dame games on NBC. On this channel, my wife and I will visit one of the many historical Irish pubs in the city for a Notre Dame game day. We'll provide some menu and drink suggestions, provide a little history of the place, and watch a Notre Dame game. This season is the most anticipated college football season to date, and it's already shaping up to be a special one for our Irish. So if you like what you hear, give the video a like, subscribe, and maybe drop a comment and a few suggestions that we should check out. Thanks for listening. Welcome to the NYND Podcast, brought to you by the ND Subway alumni. All right, so week one of college football is in the books, and boy, was it a good one. To recap the bigger slate of games, we saw number 1 Georgia pummel number 14 Clemson in Atlanta, and what would cement Georgia as really the remaining big bad of college football. It also affirmed some of the chatter circling around Clemson and their lack of NIL and transfer portal additions. I mean, really curious to see where Clemson goes from here. Are they going to kind of fall back to the mid-tier of the ACC? Do they get off the mat and maybe rattle off 11 wins? I didn't see it. They looked just as pedestrian as they were last year, even though I'm well aware that they beat us in Death Valley. Number 8 Penn State traveled down to Morgantown to face West Virginia, and really a sneaky upset spot. The Nittany Lions, I thought they were poised, and I thought they outclassed the Mountaineers 34-13. That's a big week one victory. That's not an easy place to play, and it's not an ideal week one matchup. So Penn State seems to look the part, as overrated as I think they are. That's a big win for the Nittany Lions. Number 19 Miami beat a reeling Florida Gators team. A lot's being made of this win. This was the first of 3 SEC teams to fall and out of conference play, and I'm all about it. Really curious to see what Miami does in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I feel like you don't really get a good idea, who's who after, until 3 to 4 games have been played. So we'll see if Miami kind of takes the spot atop the ACC mantle as one of the real contenders in that conference, or if they, drop a game to some pedestrian ACC team and just kind of do the same old. Number 23 USC arrived against number 13 LSU. This game was a blast. Not only did Notre Dame take care of business, enabling us Irish fans to relax a little bit, sit back on Sunday and watch this game, but I mean, USC and LSU traded punches for 4 quarters in what I thought was a thriller. And another LSU opening weekend loss, another Brian Kelly condescending explanation in the postgame. Yeah, I'm here for it. Every time this happens, it just kind of reassures us Notre Dame fans that Marcus Freeman is the guy we want. I'd rather take Freeman after a loss being genuine in front of the microphone saying, hey, here's everything I actually have to do better and believing him than watch Brian Kelly get up there and just blame everybody but himself. Miller Moss and the high-powered passing attack with Zachariah Branch, they looked the part. They have a defense now, and every time LSU punched him in the mouth, they punched right back. And, USC looks good. I don't know how good LSU will turn out to be, but USC looks good. And, it's only human nature to kind of circle that last game on the calendar in the Coliseum. That's Thanksgiving weekend. We go out there, that high-powered offensive attack against our elite secondary, and, oh, man, all the eyes of college football, that could be the rivalry game of the weekend. Maybe that's even bigger than Michigan and Ohio State on that weekend. That'd be pretty cool to kind of have that rivalry really come back and cement itself amongst the best in college football. And that brings us to Saturday night, College Game Day in College Station. Kyle Field, 108,000 screaming fans, one of the most hostile environments apparently to play in the country. That's all we heard leading up to this game. An SEC defense that had reinvented its culture with Mike Elko. They still have this. They still have a lot of those 5-star guys from the Jimbo Fisher recruiting days. They have a transfer quarterback, really a dark horse Heisman contender, and Wegman, who was also a former 5-star. Remember, we don't get those 5 stars, so it's important to remember just how talented this A&M team was, and how raucous this crowd was going to be, and how it was in the heart of Texas. So, I mean, as a Notre Dame fan, we probably just should have stayed at home and not even gotten on the plane. That's not what happened. Notre Dame walked into Kyle Field and punched A&M square in the face. In the first half, albeit it was close, A&M took a lead. We came back, we countered, we answered, tied it up at 3-3. They took another lead. We tied it up at 6-6. And then in the second half, I thought that our offensive line started to lean on their highly touted front seven. Our running backs got their legs under them. I thought Love and Price looked the part, breaking a bunch of chunk plays on the ground. The team showed personality. They were relentless despite the momentum shifts. And let's talk about Riley Leonard, man. I mean, what is there not to love about this kid? Going in, he didn't play any spring ball. He didn't play the spring game. New offensive coordinator, an offensive line that had 6 starts between them. I might as well have started. And you don't think Leonard knew that? I mean, I know the passing game was a little shaky in the first half, but every time we needed to play, whether that be a high pressure situation throw, or if it was a scramble, or if it was a quarterback power, he took hits. He's just huge fan of this kid. He made every play he needed to. He's tough as nails. He says all the right things, and it comes across genuine. He's the perfect counter for Marcus Freeman, in my opinion. And I liked Sam Hartman. I thought we did him dirty last year a little bit with how we structured our offense. I thought he could have had a better year for us, but it just feels different with this Leonard kid. And then after that post-game interview, it's funny. You can't find that post-game interview anywhere online. You can't find the video. You can find the transcript. You would think that after a massive college game day win like that, the ratings were off the charts for that game, and you can't find the post-game interview with the game-winning quarterback. And it's just funny. We all know what he said in that interview, and a typical ESPN not putting that online. So, just really excited about what this team showed. I wanted to pull up what the game day atmosphere, the pregame. I'm sure most of you guys have seen this, but I'm going to play it for you anyway, just because I love this stuff. All right. We're going to Gettysburg. This is so cool. Can you imagine being there for this? I have goosebumps just watching it. Yeah, that's sick. So, moving forward, the plan's going to be to pick a different Irish pub somewhere in the city. We haven't decided what we're going to do this Saturday yet. It's looking like O'Neill's in Maspeth, Queens. Heard a lot of great things about the place, so we'll go there. And, we're going to try and come out with this podcast every Tuesday or Wednesday. And you can find me at I got my Instagram here. We're going to put this thing together as we go, guys. I mean, this is all new, but really excited about it. Really excited about Notre Dame this season, and I hope to meet some of you in New York. Go Irish.